Next question. Benji, not too long ago, Conan and Disco Inferno were discussing Low-Key's issues that stopped him rising up the ranks. Conan also said that you and Jeff Jarrett... yes, I was actually going to play the clip, but they've played stuff of ours, so they won't... They can't be upset if we play one of their clips, can they?
Should we play it? It's kind of long, though. Is it mostly talking?
It's all talking. It's like a minute, maybe. I'll tell you what. I'll just do the quick version. Conan said that you and Jeff Jarrett blocked Low-Key from going into LAX because Low-Key had major heat with you both. The second time Conan tried to get Low-Key into LAX, he briefly succeeded before Low-Key got suspended from TNA for getting into a fight with Jeff Jarrett. What's the whole story here? So apparently Low-Key has got heat with you and Jeff, so where does that stem from?
Well, he doesn't have heat. He just doesn't have a full endorsement. Let me say that. Low-Key's a great worker, but he's very difficult to work with. You would want him to do something, and he would sit back and he would go, well, in great voice.
Well,
when you hear the voice of God, you go, well, hell, am I wrong on this or what? But he would really study every aspect of what he was going to do. And if he didn't like one part of it, he'd want to discuss it. Well, I don't got time to stand around and discuss just a regular match with the guy, because it's up to you to keep yourself. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. But none of it would have hurt him. He was going over in the match, but he presented it in such a way that it became more of a problem to even talk to him about a match where he was going over, and he'd want to make sure this and that, and just get yourself over. And I didn't want to. And the discussion with Low-Key wasn't like 2 or 3 minutes. It was like at least 15, 20, because he would want to just keep over and over. I don't have time for it. So he was difficult to work with. And Jeff is the same way, because I think he went to Jeff with some of the problems, and Jeff didn't have time to deal with him either. So that's where his, not heat, but we just didn't endorse him to go in LAX. Conan did. And then the first week, what did he do? He got in a fight with somebody, or a big tiff with Jeff or something?
Yeah, that's basically it. Apparently, he got suspended for getting into some sort of fight with Jeff Jarrett. I don't know if verbal or otherwise.
Well, I'm sure it was verbal, but... And Jeff didn't have time for it either. Hey, it's a business, and you got to treat it like a business. If we were a pro football team and you were a tight end, and we want you to run this, this down and out, well, you run the down and out, whether you like it or not. We got to see if we can make it work. But no, he wanted to question it, so it was easier to replace him than it was to pacify him.
I think it was, if we can not cough all the way through it. Low-Key, looking at him, I wouldn't think he was a good fit for LAX, because if he's Hispanic or not, he looks like a Shaolin monk. So in that sense, I just sort of didn't think that LAX and him would be a good fit.
Well, Homicide was in it. What was the other guy's name? Hernandez and Conan. And they were a pretty good fit. And they wanted to put they wanted to put a third guy, do like the Freebird gimmick with them, and which would have been okay, but all he had to do was work a little bit, and it was Conan's choice, I think. And I think Conan saying he got in an argument with me, we wanted Conan to handle him, and Conan didn't handle him, so we had a problem.
There was also Salinas, Shelly Martinez, who was briefly in LAX, if you remember as well.
She was there too for a while. But these are all Conan suggestions that we tried to see if we could get work, and she didn't work either. So
now, did anyone ever come to you and complain that Low-Key was maybe a little bit more snug than they would prefer?
No, not really, because he was snug, but when you lock up with a guy and he's snug, so you got to be snug back. You can't be loose on a guy that's snug, because he's snatching you. You got to snatch him. Nobody's going to get hurt unless you get kicked in the face, or in case of David Flair, in your little, love balls. You might get kicked in them a little bit. But, I think the guy, he just liked to, he loved the business and he loved the physicality of it. So, and if you didn't like it, you either had to be rough back with him or not at all.
Now, Conan, and tell me if you believe he's right, says that the reason that Loki didn't advance further in the business was essentially, I think the quote he gives is that Brandon, his real name, is a good guy. Loki's an arsehole.
Uh-huh.
So, he uses that as the example of essentially why Loki didn't make it bigger in the business. Is that fair to say?
Well, I didn't know Brandon. I didn't know who he really was. Conan probably did. And that's probably a fair assessment of it. It really is. Because in any business, you have to play the game. I don't care what it is. You got the old saying, you got to go along to get along, or get along to go along. It's something like that. So you don't say everything you want to say, but I think he wanted every detail worked out. Well, that's his job. I can give you the finish. I can give you the story. Once I give you that, you got to get there. Mm-hmm. And if I see you're missing the mark, I will adjust some things. But still, the story is going to remain the same. So if you're hard to work with, you just take up valuable time that a lot of people in creative don't have time to give you, unless you're really the main story.
You ever seen Loki knock somebody out?
No, but
would you like to?
He does. Yeah, let me see it.
Let me see it. Okay. So apparently this is Loki's debut in the Evolve promotion from I haven't got the information, I think 2012.
And Evolve is where, up on the East Coast?
I think so, yes. So, here we go. Oh, shoot, there we go. Waiting for the bell to ring. I'll figure out what this guy's name is in a second, his opponent. And there you go. He's dead.
What did he do to him?
Oh, let's see it again. He does like a rolling kick.
Oh, he knocked him out.
Yes. I think a few people have advanced that he wasn't knocked out, which in this case, that guy's the greatest seller of all time since Ricky Morton, so someone hire him immediately. But I think he was just knocked out.
So what's the finish here? Do they pull him out?
They stand around. So keep in mind that he's knocked out and this match goes 2 minutes, which tells you that obviously they try and rouse him up. I'm just forwarding up a bit. Still yet to get to his feet as this crowd. Still yet to get to his feet because he's knocked out completely. And anyone in a real contest would have pinned the guy.
Yeah.
But no, apparently that wasn't the plan. So there you go.
Handspring into the knee strike. Basically the corner, the only thing holding on two up.
So he kicked him twice.
He's dead on the thing. I'll forward it up. Double stomp. In fairness, he does actually protect him on the double stomp there, you can tell. And then he pins him, because apparently that was the actual finish.
Wow.
It's one
That's
of those
pretty
things
good. I'm glad it's not me.
It's one of those things where I just think, look, the guy is dead. The guy is dead. In a real fight, you would pin him. Just do it. Mm-hmm. You've been in the business 15 years. Just pin him.
Now, this is from Evolve?
Yeah. His debut.
Wasn't that Gabe Sapolsky that ran it?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, okay. And he used to book with ECW with Heyman, right?
At one point, he was like an understudy in the last years, yeah.
Yep. I think I met him one time. That's all I met him. I think he came to a TNA taping.